welcome to Business as Usual. Today I got my guest, his name is Bianca. Bianca's here from the Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race.
Hi Kev, thanks so much for having me.
So let's go right at it. What is a kinetic sculpture?
Okay, so a kinetic sculpture is an all-terrain, human-powered vehicle that has a mix of the STEM sciences and engineering with a definite art twist on it that makes it unique and one of a kind.
So you got to be able to ride it down the street as well as get it to float, right?
There are many funny and serious rules that go along with the kinetic sculpture race, but the steadfast rules include that it must float, or you will not finish, and your feet cannot touch the ground. So you must human power it, and traditionally a lot of these machines end up being comprised of old bicycle parts, things welded to the frame, there's gearing involved. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's traditionally how a lot of people solve that problem, but it must be human powered and your feet cannot touch the ground.
Great. Hey guys, we got some pictures. Can we see the pictures of them? So just kind of walk us through once the pictures come up, let us know okay, so here's this first one.
So this is a great example of one of the machines. So the machines you're going to see in these pictures are from several other races around the country, which I'll get into that in a minute. These are some of the best examples of kinetic sculpture race machines. These, remember, they travel through water, they travel through mud, sand, dirt, cobblestones. They go through these trials and they have to make it from the start to finish in one piece. And as you can see, people solve these problems in many different ways. They have actually like paddles in their wheels. The chicken has inflatable pontoons. A lot of people come to different solutions for the same problem, and it's really ingenious to watch how teams...
That one's pretty cool looking too.
That one, as they move down the street or through the water, all the eyes blink. So they're not just kinetic because they're human powered and mechanical in that way, but the sculptures themselves react to motion.
That is pretty cool. So awesome. Thank you guys, appreciate that. So now, when is the race?
The race is on September 24th of this year. That is a Saturday.
So now, what inspired you guys to first learn about it? Because I've never seen it until I met you. How'd you even come across it?
So about a year ago, my co-producer was introduced to me by a mutual friend, and he had seen this race out in California where it originated, and wanted to bring it to this coast. And we did some research, and I discovered that these races have been happening all over the country since 1969.
Wow.
But New England did not yet have one. So my motivation was to bring this incredible, fun celebration of the arts and sciences to New England for the first time.
So has it been a challenge to kind of educate people about it? Because like I said, when I first met you and you told me about it, I'm like, oh man, that is a cool idea. And as I've been telling people about it, that I'm like, okay, this person would have an interest in it because they like cool things or they have the ability to participate. It's like, Google it, dude, type of thing,
Googling is really helpful because the visual aids are, if someone hasn't heard of a kinetic sculpture or hasn't happened to stumble upon this in the past, explaining it in words never quite does it justice, which is why I'm very thankful to you for showing some of my images, because it really helps people wrap their mind around how complex and beautiful these machines are.
Why Lowell? I mean, you can do it pretty much any places, but why
Lowell?
So
many reasons, not just geographical either. Lowell has its pulse on innovation. And this race celebrates innovation. It celebrates teamwork. It celebrates the STEM sciences. It celebrates the STEAM, when you combine the STEM sciences with the arts.
Talk to me about the STEM sciences. How does that fill in?
In order for one of these machines to succeed, it takes a metaphorical village. It takes a team. It takes someone who's good with engineering. It takes someone who can fabricate. It takes someone who's good with the physics behind it. It takes the artist. It takes everyone working together in all of those. It takes the math of the force required to propel this thing. It takes everyone on that team and their specializations, and that collaboration is the only reason it succeeds. And that's why I love it, because it celebrates that collaboration of the arts and sciences, and something that a lot of the local area schools are really trying to push these days, which is why I think it's appropriate to bring it to Lowell and to show kids, especially, it's great for adults and it's a great opportunity, but the kids that are gonna see this are gonna see that they can, when they grow up, they get to build all the cool things they wanna build now with the skills they learn as an adult.
What's neat about it, like you said, is, and when you told me this is exactly what drew me to it too, is that you can be the smartest guy in the world, but if you can't figure out how to get it in the water, then it's really not going to help. Or like I said, hey, I can weld it all, but wait, I didn't understand that, we built it so it's so heavy that nobody could pedal it if they wanted to, and it's not going to float, So you really do need the whole team and stuff. And it's got to be neat because it's up to your imagination as to what you want to build. You can build whatever you want and stuff, And, and you just looking at the pictures, you saw, wow, they thought to do this, so
And not all of them are that complicated. Yeah. I've seen a team do really, really well that had a canoe strapped between two mountain bikes, and that is totally legit.
Right. Yeah.
First year entries can be bare bones. They can just be, hey, this is what I think I need to get through the obstacles, and if you do it all, then you're already in the running.
So who can race?
Anybody. Yeah. So anybody, brackets, over the age of 12.
Yeah,
any of our competitors under the age of 18 and over the age of 12 need to have a helmet on at all times. All that information can be found in our FAQs. But it's for anyone. It's for builders, it's for artists, it's for families. Anybody can race, and it's free to register.
What's cool about it, though, is if I want to get involved because I'm an engineer, but I don't have a team. You'll find me a team, right?
Absolutely. We meet, not only can people reach out to us through the website, through the Facebook page, through Instagram, Twitter, all of those things. They can also attend any of our meetings. So we meet roughly every other week, somewhere around downtown Lowell. We get the builders together. We get people who want to be involved but aren't quite sure, potential volunteers, potential sponsors, potential partners. And we all sit down and just talk about hey, how's everyone doing? What are your questions? What do you guys need? Do you guys need bike parts? Great. Talk to City Bicycle. They're one of our sponsors. Do you need space to build? Awesome. Talk to Navigation Brewing Company because they've offered space in their warehouse. So we are really making an extra effort and will continue to do so every year to help build the teams. Because the last thing I want is somebody sitting on the sidelines wishing they could have raced if they'd only known a welder. Because that's an easy problem to fix via networking and friends.
Oh, absolutely. But like you said, if you don't know a welder, it feels overwhelming, or you're just not sure of your skills. You're like, you know what, I want to be just a helper. I don't maybe not have the skill.
So many teams need that.
But I can be an extra set of hands. Hey, do this, do that type of thing, or or someone who just simply wants to sponsor. Because obviously sponsorships is a big deal to this.
It is a big deal, and as a first-year event, it's always a first-year event is always a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. This is such a great event, and I believe in it so wholeheartedly that its success this year is going to make it much easier in subsequent years. But I understand that our sponsors, a lot of them, they don't know what a kinetic sculpture race is, and I totally get it, and all the explaining in the world sometimes doesn't help. But the fact that I've had some wonderful sponsors along the way so far that believe in me and believe in the importance and the educational value of this race, for example, the Greater Merrimack Valley Convention and Visitors Bureau has been behind me since nobody knew what I was talking about. They have been there since day one. The Mass Office of Travel and Tourism has been incredible. The Mass Sports Office, Legacy Financial came out of the woodwork and said, you know what? We believe in you, and we're going to help out. And we wouldn't be where we are right now without the help of those incredible sponsors. And at the same time, we absolutely have room for more. And there are always things in a first-year race.
So now, how do people learn more to be a sponsor?
All the information to be a sponsor can be found on lowellkinetic.com. That's Lowell, the town name, Kinetic, Kinetic.com. There, not only can sponsors find out information, but so can volunteers, potential racers, spectators. The website has almost everything you could want for info, and if you hit a dead end or have more questions, you can reach me through any of the means of contact on that website. We'll all go to my inbox.
But I see why those groups have gotten involved, because it's a natural fit. The tourism board, you're going to bring in people, and it's cool. It's not, okay, you're doing something. We won't use an example because I don't hurt anyone's feelings, but everyone in the world's doing that, and every city and town in this area, okay, so now we have one too. It's okay, but who else can claim to have a race?
This is nothing if not unique. The closest one to us right now is Baltimore. and I went down there to cross-promote our race a couple of months ago. What ended up coming out of it was one of their teams is coming up. They're trailering their machine up. They are the team to beat because they have experience, and so does one of our other teams as well. We have some great local artists that have gotten on board. Jay Hungate, who is a local artist at Western Ave Studios. He's building a machine. We have the guys from Baltimore coming up. We have these awesome guys from Massachusetts and Rhode Island who do custom bikes and things like that. They're on board. Like I said, City Bicycle has been a huge supporter, and so is Mike Daly over at Uncharted. He's going to be, you'll see him on race day. He's going to be part of our judges whole circle. And the pomp and circumstance, the intentional pomp and circumstance and spectacle around the characters and the judging and the costumes, because it's a celebration more than anything else. Yes, it's a race. Yes, there are many awards that you can win, and all of that criteria can be found on the website, but it's a celebration more than anything, saying, look what you can accomplish when you get together to solve a problem. And that's what these things are.
But to me, it really is a Lowell event because we have such a huge art scene. So the art people looking at it going, okay, I want to build something really cool looking. We have the university. We have all the smart people in the world who can say, okay, yes, you can build it that way, and I can make sure it actually can get on the street and down the water and stuff. So to me, when you show them, I'm like, that's a Lowell event every day.
And the university aspect that you just mentioned is one of my hopes and dreams for the future. So this year, I want the universities to see it. I want them to be a part of it as much as they can. Understandably, the race is in September, so for a university to pull a team together is tough during the summer. What's happened in a lot of other cities, and specifically Baltimore, is that currently 6 schools in Baltimore have built programs around the building of the machine that culminate in the race. So combining all the STEM sciences and a collaboration with the arts, they've made programs for their students around solving these problems of making these machines. And my hope for the future is that once schools see this happen this fall, that they'll be inspired to at least, put together an after-school club focused on building it, or want to get involved next year, and that their students become inspired as well as their teachers.
I really see this at the high school level.
Oh, absolutely. And we have so many incredible tech and trade schools around here that have more than enough skills to be able to pull this off.
That's what's nice about it, is because as we keep hitting on the same subject, but take it to a high school level, the kids who are going to build this probably aren't kids that hang out together.
No,
you're going to pull them from all different areas and stuff. So now they're interacting with, okay, we need somebody who's strong enough to pedal this.
And they're pulling all these different disciplines together. And at the same time, they're reinforcing the fact that, hey, you know what? If you want to, you actually do use this stuff when you grow up. You do use geometry. You do use physics. And this is how.
That's kind of neat. So it's open to everybody. Everyone can attend?
It is free to race. It is free to attend.
That is kind of neat and stuff. Because I'd imagine you're going to draw people pretty much from all over the country.
I hope so.
I mean, I don't doubt it for a second, because like I said, if you're looking for, hey, we want to, take off for the weekend. I mean, Lowell's already a destination spot. And wow, I can see this Kinetic race. I've never heard of it. Sounds kind of cool and stuff. And it's going to be great for the community, because you're going to bring in people who are going to want to stay local. They're going to want to eat local.
And we're making small businesses a big part of it is hugely central to my plan. The race begins and ends on Market Street. And so for the whole day, Market Street is the heart of the race. We are cross-promoting all the local businesses. We're encouraging people to take a time out, go eat at one of the restaurants, look in the art galleries, experience the National Parks Office that's right there. And then the 2 other venues include the Tsongas Center, which is a big attraction in Lowell, and we have the mud obstacle in their parking lot. And the 3rd venue is the Lowell Heritage State Park. And that is a beautiful venue with a beautiful beach, and that's where the machines will be entering the water to deal with that obstacle. And we've got a wonderful partner in Heritage Farm Ice Cream down there who's going to be helping supply food for the day. And we're going to be telling people, go get an ice cream cone, hang out, have some great food.
How long roughly does the race take?
So we expect this race, it's about 6 miles. We expect it to take about 4 hours. So we're kicking off at 11 a.m. with the race. Opening ceremonies begin at 10 a.m. So backing up from that, at about 9:30 in the morning, the machines will come out on Market Street. And this is when people will have the opportunity to interact with the teams. They can ask them about the machines, they can touch them, they can take pictures with them, they can figure out what's going on.
Do people dress up crazy?
Oh my goodness, it's awesome.
You would think so.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
that's what it
teams
sounds like.
show their solidarity by theming themselves. So as you saw in some of those pictures, there was the the big chicken machine.
Right, yeah.
Every person on that team was dressed up like a giant chicken. Some people take it all the way to the edge, and some people just have like hats that match or shirts that matches. There's so many ways that you can be more involved and just show how much fun this is. So the race starts around 11 a.m. proper. You'll want to be there by 10 a.m. though, because that's when all the opening ceremonies start, and that is going to be hugely entertaining. We have a lot of local characters involved, including the party band, involved in the opening ceremonies. And then the race leaves Market Street, goes to the Tsongas Center, goes to the beach, and then finally returns to Market Street around 3 o'clock for the finish.
But that's what's nice, like you said, is you can, watch any particular part of the race you want.
You can go to all of them, you can go to one.
Yeah. But that's what's nice, like you said, is, so now I'm in downtown, I'm there for opening ceremonies, then I can, take in some of the tourist spots, head over, hey, I want to go over, to me, I definitely want to watch them get in the water.
A lot of people, that's going to be a big draw. We're going to keep that venue open pretty much all day. So for some people, they may just go hang out at the beach that day, and that's what we want. We want to make it a family day at the beach. We have kids activities, face painting. We're going to have music and food. And you go down there and you just park. You get a beach blanket or picnic blanket, and you park there for the day, and you get to see one of the most exciting parts of the race.
How many participants are you hoping for?
Right now we have 9 teams registered, which is
awesome.
Great. The Baltimore race started out originally with 6, and they're around 40 now. So to have 9 teams makes me really happy. If anyone is out there and wants to be that 10th team to make it a nice round number, please contact me.
But that's when they really should check out to meet up, because we know there's people watching going, I want to know more about this. It's okay, come down to the meetups, talk to you, talk to the other people.
The next meetup is in downtown Lowell on July 18th, which is a Monday night, from about 6 to 10 p.m. We'll be hanging out on the patio of Fuse Bistro, right in downtown Lowell, and just hanging out. It's totally casual. Feel free, come by. You'll know it's us because it's a big group of people talking about mechanics.
Kind of sticks out a little bit,
we stick out.
That's something that happens every day and stuff. So
There's usually a pile of flyers and information packets and stuff on the table as well. And we welcome anybody. The teams are so engaged, and they love to talk about it. They love to talk about what they're building and how big it's going to be and how is it going to float and what sort of mechanics are they using to make it move. And just being around them is inspiring and energizing.
But that's what's neat, like you said, is, you're sitting there going, okay, how am I going to do this? And someone's like, hey, have you thought about? And then you're like, wow, you just took us in a whole different direction because we hadn't thought about that. And, and like you said, it's going to be fun just to see it. And I think, like you said, I am still convinced you'll have more than 9 teams, but watch out next year. Because
I'm
once
really
people see it,
next year.
It's like, oh man, I have to do that. I have to, I have to race. I have to win.
And
stuff. And it's nice because it's bringing so many people together, and it's just such a great thing to help with the community. So who else is involved in this? Because you got a huge task. We were kind of joking a little bit before the show. We're going to be kind of shutting down some streets in downtown. Police details. Portable toilets. I mean, everything.
Backhoes, dump trucks, everything we need to make the mud obstacle. There are a lot of
So talk to me about the mud obstacle. What's that all about?
So
we talked about it and let it go like 3 times.
So,
just hit it.
All right, the second obstacle of the race. So the first one is the cobblestones of Middle Street. So we send all the machines down Middle Street, which is painful in a car or a regular street bike. These machines need to survive that first. Once they've conquered the cobblestones of Middle Street, which we're calling Bone Shaker Alley, once they get through that, they head to the Tsongas Center, where they need to get through 40 feet of 6-inch mud on an incline. So that mud is going to be I'm trucking the mud in, trucking the dirt in, turning it into mud, lining it with hay bales so it stays contained and so the crowd has somewhere to wash it from. And then at the end of it all, the second that last machine leaves there, I have this magical team coming in to make it look like it never happened. So, and that every one of these venues is all active at the same time. There's a ton of moving parts. Like I said, without the sponsors that I've had so far, Greater Merrimack Valley Convention Visitors Bureau, Mass Office of Travel and Tourism, Legacy Financial, without these people, I wouldn't have gotten nearly as far as I have yet.
How did you learn to do this, though?
I've spent 17 years in the production industry. So
no, but like, how'd you learn to make mud disappear?
Oh, it's amazing the problems you've had to solve in the past that you think you'll never have to solve again. And then one day someone says, I want to make a mud obstacle. And you go, you know what? 10 years ago, I had to figure out a way to get rid of a bunch of beach sand or a bunch of dirt or this. I actually know how to do that, which is weird and useful right now. But speaking of the mud obstacle, I am currently putting it out there that if anyone wants the mud obstacle named after their business, I think that would be really fun. And they are totally happy. Like, I'm happy for them to take creative license with that, name it whatever they want. Because I love that each of these things has that little bit of creativity. We have Bone Shaker Alley and things like that. So the more creative we can get with it, the better.
So we got a sponsorship on the mud now.
I would like a sponsorship on the mud. The mud's going to happen either way. But I think it would be really cool if a company got the mud obstacle named after them, and then we could just have like the big tent banners and then this and everything, and heck, they can park their company vehicle next to it, or whatever they want.
Makes sense, though.
I think it would be cool to get really creative names given to all these obstacles.
But like you said, just a simple thing like that. Chuckle, simple, is that it's on an incline and it's mud. So you got to make sure that your device can get through that.
And the way a lot of these machines deal with it, so they could have different tires for mud and street.
So we allow the snow tires, they get their mud tires too.
We allow the participants to change out key parts of their machine before each obstacle, so long as they carry everything on board.
Okay.
So we actually do a pause in the race when we get to each obstacle. It allows all our teams to get there. We keep them in order. It also allows our spectators to catch up, so that all the spectators can be present for the obstacle. And in that race stoppage time where everyone's catching up, all the machines can modify, so they can put their mud tires on, or if they're at the water, they can blow up their pontoons, and they can take a minute to get their stuff together to tackle the next obstacle.
So the winner, it just has the best combined time? Is that how it works?
If you go to lowellkinetic.com and look at our rules and our awards, there is an award for the best combined time. But they don't end there. There are awards for things, there's People's Choice. We have volunteers walking around all day, and if people are interested in being a volunteer, you can sign up on lowellkinetic.com.
I gotta admit, I'd rather win for coolest.
That's the thing. We have people walking around all day taking votes for the coolest sculpture, People's Choice. We have best bribes. We're not talking monetary. We're talking creative bribes given to our judges and our spectators throughout the day. When I went to Baltimore, people kept giving me little art trinkets, little tiny versions of their Kinetic machine. The coolest things, things that I will keep forever. But our awards are most creative costumes, everything under the sun. And you can look at the awards ahead of time and decide, you know what? I'm going for that one.
Sure, I'm sure some people will and stuff. So now we still have some more opportunities for sponsorships too.
Oh yeah.
If someone wants to reach out to you on that and stuff.
Absolutely, and for any budget. I can tailor something for any budget. You will get the exposure that makes you happy. And we can come up with something that works for all of us, because I want to involve as many local businesses as possible. I want this to be an event the whole community feels like they built together. That's the goal.
We have teachers watching. So if you have a class and you're like, hey, I want my students to get involved somehow, they can reach out.
Yeah, we would love to have, especially as volunteers. We would love to have students involved in racer registration, or course marshaling, or being at each obstacle, helping our production team make sure everything runs smoothly. It'll give them a chance to learn about the machines. They can come to the meetings and talk to the teams. Heck, we could even have the teams go into the classrooms and talk about their build process. But I would love to expose as many students to this as possible, so that they can get inspired and want to be part of it.
How did you pick the judges?
So the head judge, Mike Daly, has been one of our biggest supporters, and is a wonderfully powerful personality.
And really good pizza.
And really, really good pizza. That's why we have a lot of our meetups at Uncharted, because the food is incredible. So he is our first judge. He is our head judge. The other judges are remaining a secret right now, because we want to leave it to race day to surprise the crowd.
Which is even funner though, like I said, and it helps get the bribes in the right place and time.
You really got to think about your bribes.
Right. So it's
you're under some stiff competition from the artists.
So now, all kidding aside, must need a ton of volunteers. What's involved in being a volunteer?
So we have all different levels. You can start volunteering now. If someone's like, hey, I'd love to volunteer my time, you can help us out with social media, or you can help us out with seeking other volunteers, or working on a t-shirt design, or really anything you want. On race day, we have a ton of different categories of volunteers, everything from racer registration, first thing in the morning, to helping us out with the awards and the closing ceremony for 2 hours in the afternoon. We have a brand new volunteer coordinator who signed on last week. Her name is Bridie Mahoney. You can find her information on our webpage, or just register to be a volunteer. And she has taken it upon herself to coordinate all of our volunteers, and she is wonderful, and I gave her a giant hug for it because she's a great point of contact. She knows everything there is to know about the race and can help somebody figure out what level of commitment works for them, what level of fun, what level of commitment, how can they be part of it and still enjoy the race. And it's going to be so much fun. Our volunteers are the heart and soul of this. They're going to make it happen, and we couldn't do it without them, and we will show our appreciation in any way possible.
But that's what's nice, like you said, you have so many volunteer opportunities that, you know, everyone can participate, though. That's what's nice about it. If you have a couple hours and you want to come down and volunteer, you know, reach out to Bridie. She can tell you, hey, this is what we have for opportunity.
Reach out to me, reach out to Bridie, reach out anywhere on the website. I think the word volunteer is on there like 50 times.
No, but all kidding aside, especially the first time, I mean, there's always going to be some kinks in it. So, you know, to have a couple extra volunteers, you know, hey, you know, help us with this. I mean, definitely makes sense. So we got about 1:30 left. When is the race? How do we get involved again?
September 24th. That is a Saturday this fall. Get involved on lowellkinetic.com, or go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/lowellkinetic. You can find all the information there, and anything you can't, please reach out to me.
So watching the show and people are kind of like, I think I can.
You can.
Obviously,
you can.
Just come down to you know, either call you, get involved, or just come down to the meetup and just
Next
be
one
around
is
the
July 18th,
other teams.
Fuse Bistro, 6 to 10 p.m. Excuse me.
Because just being there, being around the other teams has to just be really cool.
Absolutely.
Because you're like, oh my God, I didn't think of doing that, or you know, hey, you know, we're missing a team member.
And whatever you're thinking, if you even have a glimmer of an idea or a glimmer of a team, go on the website, come meet us. Come hang out, talk to somebody. I guarantee that we'll suck you in because it's awesome.
And like as you mentioned earlier, if you don't have a team, if you just have a skill, you can find them a team.
We'll find you a team.
Because every team needs different skills, different people and stuff, and that's what makes it work. So if they're watching, they're like, hey, you know, I want to get involved in a team, or you just
want to
talk.
meet other people who are interested in this stuff. It's been great to bring people together who didn't know that they shared a common interest, and now they're friends, and they hang out, and they build stuff. It's great.
That's what I really like about it, is you found the way to bring people together that may not just meet in regular life. And
the engineers don't usually hang out with the artists.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making a gross generalization, but it's great to see more engineers hanging out with more artists.
Yeah, so really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you so much,
guys.
Kevin.
See you next time. Thank you, Mike. On the show, we have